Join the conversation. Follow Jason on Twitter. And don't forget to visit the live show fan page on Facebook.
All right. So what did President Obama do before he left office? Well, on January 3rd, outgoing Attorney General Loretta Lynch secretly signed an order directing the National Security Agency to make available raw spying data to all other federal intelligence agencies, which then can pass it to their counterparts in foreign countries and in all 50 states. We have talked a lot about this in the past. And our Constitution says that you have a right to be secure in your papers and personal effects. Basically, that you have a right to your property. That someone can't just come in and take what's yours, and they can't come and snoop around in your stuff unless they have a reasonable suspicion that a crime has been committed. And the way that our Constitution deals with this is it simply says you have to have a warrant from a judge, which means you have to go to a judge and you have to show probable cause as to the person that you want to go and investigate, the place that you want to go, the papers and effects that you want to look for, and what specifically you're looking for. Now, after Nixon, they decided to start what was called the Intelligence and Surveillance Intelligence and Surveillance Act, which created a secret court that was charged with the sole responsibility of authorizing domestic spying. Now, American spies needed a search warrant from this FISA court. This is the change that was made. This is the slippery slope we went down. It's a game of inches, folks. I talk about it as a game of inches. This is what it is. When the FISA court was started, any spy in America, this had nothing to do with Americans and everything to do with foreign governments. So an American spy would have to go to the FISA court, and contrary to the Constitution, a search warrant was given based on not on probable cause for a crime, but on probable cause that a person is an agent of a foreign power. So let's say you wanted to tap somebody's phone. Well, you couldn't tap an American's phone, but if you wanted to tap a non-American's phone who's living in America, you had to go to the FISA court. And you had to tell them, we think this guy's a foreign agent. Did he commit a crime? Well, we don't know, and we don't have to have evidence of that. In fact, all we have to do is show probable cause of foreign agency rather than probable cause of a crime. Now, numerous other statutes were enacted that made spying easier, and that continued to erode the right to be left alone guaranteed by the Fourth Amendment. The Patriot Act, now fast forwarding to George Bush, the Patriot Act permitted FBI agents to write their own warrants for business records. And amendments to FISA itself changed the wording from probable cause of foreign agency to probable cause of being a foreign person to all Americans who may, quote, communicate with a foreign person. So you see, the FISA court was originally set up so that American spies could spy on foreigners living in America who they suspected of being spies. And over the years, they've tweaked it. They've rewritten provisions. They've created complete new laws like the Patriot Act that expanded that power, that got us further and further away from the Fourth Amendment protections that we have under the Constitution, until we find ourselves today in the recent U.S. Freedom Act, which permits the NSA to ask the FISA court for a search warrant for any person, named or unnamed, which is a direct violation of the Constitution. This is based on a standard of government need. So simply, if the government needs it, now explain to me, how can you show government need for a warrant for a person you are unnaming? We need a warrant for this guy. What guy? Just a guy. Actually, it might be a guy. It might be a chick. You don't need to know. We just need it. Well, if you say so. That's the standard now. The standard is, I can get a secret warrant to tap anybody I want to at any time because I said I need it. One example of this was one FISA court-issued warrant authorized the surveillance of all 115 million domestic customers of Verizon. Now, because of Lynch's secret order, the NSA may share any of its data with any other intelligence agency or law enforcement agency that has an intelligence arm based on, you guessed it, a standard of governmental need. Ladies and gentlemen, your government can now spy on you whenever it wants to, for whatever reason. It doesn't have to name you specifically, and it doesn't have to give any probable cause. Any agency in the United States can now go to FISA and say, I want all the information on this person. And all they have to tell the FISA court is, I want it because I need it. And FISA is authorized to give it to them. Think about what that means for America. Think about what that means for your protections. This is a direct violation of the Constitution. It also happens to be exactly what Snowden was upset about. These are illegal laws, and yet they continue.